Hello and welcome to Why Market Your Business Online webinar. We have a great group of people with us today. I'm glad you are on board. If you could just take a minute to locate the questions box on the right hand side of the screen, because I know that you're going to have questions and I want to be able to answer those as we're going through the training today. And also, this will be a good time for you to just make a quick note that you're hearing me okay, in the case we have any audio problems. Today we will be giving you an overview of why, as a small business, you need to be online and what it takes to be found by potential customers. We will be unpacking those concepts over the coming weeks and giving you details on what you need to do as part of your overall marketing plan. Who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Tatiana Walker. Just a little bit information here about why in the world should you even bother to listen to me. Well, I am also a business owner, have been for several years, around 10-15 years. I have owned various businesses. We currently work with businesses to help them be found online. And one thing that we bring to you is I spend several hours every week to stay current with changes in the marketplace. And as we will be working with you, not only in the next 13 weeks, but I'm going into this year, we will be working with you, showing you what works as things change and some things remain constant. We will be talking about those today. But our goal here in this webinar that we're doing today is kind of a broad stroke, just to show you why you should be online, give you a few tips, and at the end of each week we will have a homework assignment for you to do to help build your business online and help you be found by your potential customers. We will be unpacking those concepts over the coming weeks. Let's take a quick look at exactly what are we talking about when we talk about SEO. And you have probably heard that term and probably have some idea on what it is all about. We're simply talking about search engine optimization, which is a process of improving the visibility of a website or a web page to the search engines via the unpaid or natural or what we call organic search results. And I'd like to say here that we are talking about, like the slide says, the unpaid or the free ways of getting found online. I'm not talking about pay-per-click. There's a company, I'm not going to say who they are, but they are a national company that is going around and talking to small businesses, and they claiming that they have an alliance with Google, and they guarantee that they can get you on a page 1. And that is simply not true. They spend a lot of money in pay-per-click ads, and paying for a pay-per-click ad does not guarantee you or does not weigh your business more than any other business for being found organically. So don't be fooled that if you throw a lot of money in paid advertising online, that you will get on page 1. You will get on page 1 for the paid portion of Google, but not the organic or natural searches. So exactly what are we talking about here? Well, as you can see here, the listings on the top, they're usually on a pale yellow, or down on the side are what I'm referring to when I talk about paid listings. A business will pay every time when somebody clicks on one of those listings. Then the organic listings usually fall directly below the paid listings, and then the Google Plus local is below that. And those are the ones here with a little teardrops or the circle. We'll get into the differences between those in the next 2 weeks when we talk about creating this Google Plus local listing and how to optimize it. But this is the organic listings or the Google Plus listings. And then normally you will see more of those organic listings below or sometimes above the Google Plus local. The Google Plus local will be anywhere between 3 and 7 listings depending on the popularity of that particular search that you are doing as to how many of the Google Plus local you will see on page 1. What we're talking about in the next few weeks is how to get listed either here at the top or just below those listings, or to get on the Google Plus local area of the map as far as Google is concerned. Now, we don't want to forget about the other search engines, and you don't want to ignore them, and we will be talking about how to create listings on those sites. But here is Yahoo, pretty much the same thing. Those are paid listings up here at the top, just above, where there are more sponsors who pay to be online, who pay to be there. And then below that will be your local listings, and then below that will be the listings that we're talking about with the organic, just a generic listings at the bottom. And it is very possible that you can be here on the local and then also listed below in organic, and that's what our goal would be. And then here is a bin, pretty much same thing, paid at the top. They have a map, and then over to the right hand side will be the local listings, and then below that, down here below, is your organic listings down below. Don't forget, there is more than just Google. Yes, Google is a big guy in the crowd, but those search engines also gaining more and more popularity as well. So let's continue our discussion here on SEO. And what we are talking about here is referred to as inbound marketing. It's getting your products and services in front of prospective customers at the very moment they are actively looking for you, for your service or your product. So obviously somebody is not going to go to a search engine and type in plumber if they are not looking for a plumber. So you're right there. You want to be right there when they are looking. It does not interrupt. And by that I mean ads on TV and ads on the radio. Those are called interruptive marketing or outbound marketing, where you're just trying to throw it up against the wall, hope that somebody at the very moment is in need of a plumber or is in need of an electrician or whatever you do. Or they can tell you so many times that when it comes time for you that you need a plumber or you need an electrician, that their name will be right there on top of your mind and that you will be found there and you will pick up the phone and call them. Now, that is a very expensive way to be known, and I'm sure if you have tried this advertising that I'm talking about, you will agree it is expensive. And with SEO, you're earning and building trust. And we're going to be talking about that and unpacking that more over the coming weeks, and how you can build trust with your audience so they will call you when they find you online. Misconceptions. Just a few of the misconceptions about SEO. There is a misconception that SEO is free marketing. And in most cases, it is free for talking about money. But it does cost some time, and we recommend that you dedicate at least an hour a day to your online marketing efforts. And as we get into this, you will be seeing some of the things you will be doing during that part of the day, and just make it part of your marketing plan. If you don't have that hour a day to spend, or don't want to take the time and effort to learn what it takes, then you might want to hire someone to do that for you, and that's what we do for our clients. And of course, then there will be a value associated with that. There is also a misconception that search engine optimization doesn't work. Well, it does, and we're going to be telling you about things that do work, things that have been proven to work over time, even with Google's algorithm changes, things that still work today. Some people think that is black magic, and it's not. Some people think it is a rocket science, or that it is illegal. Well, it's none of those things. It is things that you can do as a business owner on a consistent basis, that those things will help you get found online. It is not magic, not rocket science. It is just steady as you go, things that you need to be doing. Search engine optimization is a legitimate marketing strategy, and it is practiced by almost all of the world's most successful companies. Practiced, notice the word, over time. Who cares? Who really cares whether you do SEO or not? Well, there are over 2 billion people online, and I don't think that comes as a big surprise to anybody. 93% of online searches begin with a search engine. And what I want to mention here is not only will somebody go to the internet if they are looking for a particular service or particular product, they will go to the internet to research a business that they are already fully aware of. Maybe they saw that ad on TV for that particular plumber, so now they are going to go, I need a plumber. Oh yeah, that was mentioned on that TV ad. Let me go take a look at where the plumber is on the internet and what people are saying about that plumber. Then some type in a specific name of a business, and they want to see how that business comes up and when they are listed and what the people are saying about their business. So just being on a page one isn't the only thing we're talking about here. You want to be on the internet on as many different platforms as you can. So that when people type in your business name, you come up there and you're prevalent on the internet. So the majority of web traffic is driven by the big three search engines: Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And that's why you want to be there. You want to be where people are looking. We will talk more next week about knowing your target audience. But for example, your target audience is people who are 70 and above. You will probably make sure you are on the Bing because people buy a new computer. Their default search engine is Bing. And a lot of people, especially the old generation, don't bother to change that over to Google, which a lot of us do. And so they're going to be on Bing more. There is more baby boomer or older generation on Bing than there is on Google. So that is where you want to make sure you're listed. So let's just take a look here at some stats. And this is a traffic distribution by Google ranking. And we're just going to take a look at this. You will notice right here that if you are in the number one position, technically you should be getting 42% of the people that come to the site should be clicking on your website. So I just want to put this out. If you are number two, I want you to remember this because we're going to talk more about this on the next slide. If you are the number two, you will be getting approximately 12%, and number three, 9%. But I want you to notice something interesting here that a lot of people don't think about. If you were on page 2, you will still going to get 10% of the traffic, because people look at the page 1, they may look down, maybe they are looking for a particular business that somebody had recommended to them, or they are just not satisfied with what they see on page 1, so they are going to page 2, and those people are getting 10% of the traffic. So that's interesting little stat there. And now we're going to go on the page, on the next page, and see what this could mean to your business. So remember I told you to keep those numbers in mind, and what we did here, this is just a search for Pest Control Seattle. Those are local monthly searches. Now, local does not mean just Linwood or Edmonds. Local means it is within the United States. So anybody within United States, because they typed in the term Linwood, you know that they are looking for somebody in Linwood, even if that's somebody up north that maybe has a unit down here and needs help. Well, there were 390 searches, local monthly searches. That's a lot of people on a monthly basis looking for pest control services. So if you were in a position number 1, you could expect to get 163 calls a month. If you are position number 2, then 46 calls. And the position number 3, then that's 35 calls. So if all those statistics would hold out, but still even a minimum, that's 35 calls. And if you were in those top 3 positions, you are going to be getting a lot more phone calls than you would get if you were not listed online at all. And also remember that people are going to be going online and typing in the name of your business specifically. Somebody recommended ABC Pest Control Company. They are going to be looking for you, and being online will help improve the probability that they will actually pick up the phone and call. And the point I'm trying to hammer here is search engines are very valuable to a business. So what are some of the benefits? Well, first of all, it boosts your website traffic. As those people find you, you are shown there, they click on your listing, it takes them to your website, and it will increase the website traffic. You increase the visibility among your target audience. So I have already talked about that. You build relationships and influence. People are looking you up. They see you on the web. They click on the website. They go there. They find out more about you. They find out what people are talking about you. And they just give you the opportunity to build those relationships with them. You're going to gain new customers. Obviously, that's why we're doing this, to increase sales. And this is what I love. The big guys can't outbid you. It's just there is nothing, like I said, that company earlier that said, oh, we have that big special relationship with Google, so we can get you to page 1. Not true. You can do more than just you can't do more than the next person to get listed online. So what are some downsides of SEO? Well, it can be slow to get results. It doesn't happen overnight, and depending on the competitiveness of your business or your industry, it can take between 3 and 6 months. We used to be able to say to our clients that with a conservative effort, we can get you to page 1 probably in 3 to 4 weeks. And it is just not happening anymore. So you need to be patient with this. There are some things that are out of your control. You can't control why Google puts certain people on that 7-pack, as they call it. Those 7 places that are listed. We don't know 100% what it is they are thinking. The algorithms change all the time. But there are some things that we can control, and we're going to be talking about those over the next coming weeks. It requires a consistent effort over time, and we're going to emphasize this over and over. It is not a one-time affair. It is an ongoing process. It requires dedicated effort to make sure you are doing what you need to do on your side. As we said earlier, we recommend 1 hour a day initially to build your presence online. Now, once you are on that homepage, front page of Google, you can back off a little bit, maybe spend only 30 minutes a day, but it does take consistent. The most important thing to that, there are no guarantees with this. I can't guarantee that your efforts will pay off to be on page 1, but I can tell you that when people look for you, we can show you how to be found, and more people are doing that. They are looking on a specific name. So we will be talking about that as well. So we had promised you when you sign up for this webinar that we would give you 7 secrets. And those 7 secrets are going to be unpacked over the coming weeks, but we're going to cover those today as to what it takes to get listed online above your competitors. First of all, it all starts with keywords. You have to know your target keywords. And we're going to show you in just a second how to use a tool called the Google Keyword Tool. And that's also going to be your homework assignment as well. So knowing what are people keen in when they are searching for you, it is not always can be what you think about. And one of the ways you can find out to start asking your friends or your customers if they will be looking for you online, what words would they use? Know your keywords. You need to do throughout research to find out what words your prospects and customers are using, which may be totally different than the words you use, by the way, so you know where you want to compete. We will dive more into it the next week. Choose your battles, meaning you can't possibly optimize for every keyword. Trying to be everything to everyone does not work anymore, definitely not online. You must prioritize 1, 2, or maybe 3 keywords and focus your efforts there. Don't dilute your efforts by trying to focus on too many keywords, or you won't get anywhere. The number 2 is content is king. We will be covering this topic in depth over the coming weeks. One of the things that doesn't change no matter how many times Google changes its algorithm, and remember, is that content is king. And search engines feed on a content, so you want to make sure you have a good website. Let's imagine that you have a website that you can go in and make changes to the site yourself. Well, can you use that site to get ranked on Google? And my answer is no. We recommend a WordPress site. It is easy to get set up, and we're going to be having a webinar on how to set up your WordPress site. It is its own website that you can go in and modify, that you are not reliant on a website graphic artist to go in and make changes for you, that you can do posts and so forth. I recommend that you do your own website. Do a WordPress blog. It's not hard, it's not difficult. And make sure it's updated frequently. A website that isn't updated regularly in a Google size, a dead website. Keep things fresh, feed the spiders, and I will stay, and you will stay, and I will stay too, on a Google's radar. So you need to make sure that you have lots of great content. And when we say content, we are not just talking about text. A fresh site includes text, images, and video. And here is why. The more you update your site, the more Google's spiders will return to index your site. And the more they index your site, the more likely it is that you will move in rankings, because the search engine will see you as a relevant producer of content for certain keywords. The next one here is naturally including your keywords. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry about keywords. Just keep things relevant most of the time. And this may sound opposite and what I just said, but but we're talking about is updating your site, and it doesn't always have to be about your keywords. You can go in and add pages as long as you're adding new content and talk about things that aren't specific to a keyword. A good example, let's say you are an attorney, that your niche is a personal injury attorney, and let's say your main keyword is personal injury attorney, but you can do series of articles on your deposition. Deposition isn't one of your keywords, but if we do a series of articles on what do you do during a deposition, what happens when your spouse is called in for a deposition, or how to handle video deposition, that would be very helpful because it's a relevant content, and that would make spiders keep crawling. Now, within that content, where we're talking about deposition, yes, we would sprinkle a keyword here or there so that it keep pushing out there to the search engines. So think about your website. When was the last time it was updated? And that could be a strong reason why you are not on page 1 of Google. So keep things fresh, keep the spiders coming, stay out there on a Google's radar. You also want to have an active social media presence. Social is becoming more and more important to search engines. And this is just shown by the fact that Google Plus, which is Google's social media site, is merging with its local listing, and we will talk more about that next week when we get in with Google Plus Local. And the other search engines are looking more and more to your activity on the social media sites to make sure you are a relevant business. So adding some buttons to your website will do a long way. That promote sharing is a great way. Just like we said, what Google Plus is doing to initiate their own social media site is a great example of this. But it's all about engagement with your target audience. And we will talk about the different social media sites going along our training. You will see more of this. It's crucial that you have an active social media presence. Ask any search marketing expert and he'll tell you the same thing. The future of search is social. And if they don't tell you that, all you have to do is look what Google is doing with its Google Plus Social Network initiative, the biggest project in the history of the company. It is all about engagement. You will also want to get links from other high-value sites, and those are referred to as backlinks. And it's simply a vote to your site. And some votes matter more than the others. And then in a few slides, we will talk a little bit more about that. More links are good as long as they are relevant. So one of the training sessions that we're going to be doing is on a social bookmarking sites. Sites like StumbleUpon, Dig, Reddit, those are all sites where you can put your information on and they can get They can be backlink back to your sites. And we're going to talk about other places where you can go to get backlinks. When we get to that point talking about backlinks, we will show how you can actually see the number of backlinks that your competitors have, or the ones that are actually on the top 3. We can look those up and see how many backlinks they have. And you will see how many backlinks you need to have in order to kind of overcome and rank higher than they are. We will be getting more into that in the training. And there are over 100 social media sites. Number 5 is video. Google loves video. And if you want to roll the cameras regularly and you want to use keywords in your video and the video title, that's wonderful. In the case you don't know, YouTube is actually owned by Google, and it is the number 2 search engine in the world. So doing videos on how to do something are a great way to get traffic. So showing people how to do something is valuable. If you post a video on Facebook, people are more likely to click on it. So the more videos you have, the more likely it is you're going to be ranked. And videos are a little bit easier to get on page 1 than a simply organic listing or a blog site. So we're going to have an entire hour-long webinar on how to create a video. You don't need a video camera to do what I'm going to be showing you to do, and we will show you how to get ranked as well. And if you do have a video camera, and most of us do because we carry around these cell phones, and just taking a quick little video of something and then posting it can be real helpful. And do it under 3 minutes long. That is the only thing. I want you to keep them short so that people can watch it. And carry your phone around with you. Number 6. Large traffic going to a few sites. You want to leverage your channels, and we just talked about YouTube as being a channel that you want to make sure you leverage. Facebook is another search engine that can provide a value to you as a business. We will talk more about this. And Craigslist is another one. People often forget about Craigslist. And you could put an ad. It's fairly easy to create an ad. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a short little site video and put it on our site on how to create a Craigslist ad that's attractive, and it doesn't have to be just words. It could actually be a graphic that you put out there about your business, and they click on your graphic and it takes them to your website. If I forget about that, remind me in future webinars that I promise to that, and I will do that. Pinterest is another one. If you have a highly visual business, you're going to want to be on Pinterest, and we have a webinar coming up on that. Get your content on them. They will rank. Get your content posted out there. You can use those channels to reach your customers in a massive way. Those channels are great for SEO and for funneling people to your business's website. They also confer authority onto your website, boosting your ranking in the process. Last one, do guest blog posts. There are a handful of strategies to really optimize locally. 1. Make sure to include local keywords in your site content, just as I just illustrated with the pest control Seattle example. Make sure your website has your city and state in multiple locations, both on the page and within the head tag. Add your local address and local phone number to your site. Those are two of the best indicators of an actual local presence for the search engines and for visitors. Make sure that your business and website are listed in all of the major local directories. Shoot videos that show that you're local, and use local terms in your descriptions of those videos when you post them. Get links from the local directories and organizations. Those are all of the little details that have a huge impact on your rankings. Keep it real. Create content for people, not search engines. Ultimately, people buy your stuff, not Google or Bing. It used to be that you can write a page and just stuff it with your keyword, saying nothing in particular and just using your keyword over and over and over, so that you will get found by search engines. And nowadays, Google will shut down your site in a flash if they see that you are doing, especially at the last couple of updates we have had. They're looking for a quality content, and if people like your content, Google will take note. Well, how's Google will know if somebody likes your content or not? Well, they know because of the amount of time that a person spends on your site. If they come to your site, look around, don't see what they are looking for, it's just one big advertisement, they are going to click off, and within 15 seconds, and Google sees that. But if they see information there, some blog posts, and they take the time to glance through them and read them and stay on your site for a minute or 2 minutes, Google take notes of that and you will be ranked higher. Make it personal. Share your story. Tell people why you have gotten involved. You want to make it personal and share your story. If you are trying to create content just to game the search engines, it will backfire on you. Keep this in mind. And be consistent over time. Make sure you are posting on a regular basis. SEO is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's probably more like an ultra marathon. It does require a time commitment, which we talked about before. It does require content creation. It does require link building, which can be very laborious. It can be very slow. But like I said, we're going to talk about a little every day. It takes time to achieve the results. If you don't want to do it yourself, you want to research and find a consultant that you can trust. Even if you hire someone like Northwest Business Training. For example, to do this for you, you want to make sure you work closely with them and that they know about your business. You want to continue to write some of your own content. Don't rely on a consultant to do all of the content writing for you. Give them some content, some ideas, tell them your story so that they can make sure that it gets there on the internet. The worth of SEO is well documented. People who are on page 1 do get more calls. A highly ranked website is working for you 24/7 when your sales team is asleep, and a well-ranked website is a sellable asset. A lot of people don't think about that when they get ready to sell their business. If they have a website that is ranking well and they have people calling from that website, then that is something that they can promote when they sell in their business. Is SEO good for all businesses? If you're getting all the business you can handle, then no. You need to know your market, and we will cover more on this next week. If you are marketing to 75 plus, probably not. If you are in a highly competitive market and are trying to reach on a national level, will be very expensive. Well, now type in the questions box some of your business areas and how much does it take? It takes less than you think. More important to be consistent and think in terms of the long run. Okay, what's the next question? Here is some homework assignment for you. Go to the Google keyword tool and type in what you think people are looking for. Make sure you do a broad match. Download the results in Excel and study them. Get rid of anything that doesn't concern you. Let me show you quickly how this works. I'm going to type in some keywords, and you guys tell me what keywords you might be interested in.